Hello, happy third Wednesday. Hi, I know where I am and what day it is. It's Wednesday. It's been a bit of a week already, but it was a fun week and it was kind of a wacky week. I hope wherever you are, that you and your loved ones are safe and well, that you're having a good week and a good day. I cannot forget my intro because that probably means I'll have trouble with my outro, and let's just hope I don't do that. It's Wednesday. I know where I am and what day it is. So, I have to back up. In order for this week to make sense, you need to know where it came from. A few years ago, my daughter and I were talking about tattoos. If you think I'm going there, I am. I had asked her, we were talking about great tattoo ideas, and I said, well, I would love to get one of a spool of thread and have one thread coming down, or a thread coming down to spell out the word create, because create's kind of my mantra word, I believe we all have something to create. I believe we're all makers. Hold that thought. And so I was held it, and I keep that original drawing by my sewing machine always. I have a blotter on it's on an antique sewing machine table that my mother-in-law had given me, and it's very special to me. And I didn't want my sewing machine to be rattling all over it, so I got a blotter, but it's a clear one, so I can see this beautiful drawing that my daughter made for me. Fast forward to the move, okay? And so, me turning 50, I started to really feel like I really want to do this. And it just became more possible. I mean, hello. And so one day I was moving around, doing other things. I was in another area, and I passed by this tattoo place, and I was like, holy cow, that looks like a really cool tattoo place. And so, but I didn't want to go in because I was like, I feel intimidated by tattoo parlors or studios, like walking up to the cool kids table when you know you're not a cool kid, because I know I'm not a cool kid, not even close. But I thought, and I had seen people outside of other places that they looked really cool, but I thought, I don't know if they want me to go in there and ask about my tattoo idea. So I was like, forget it. It also seemed like something that would never be a possibility because, hello, me, my nerves, my spine, you name it. I had stroke, the heart, the whole thing. So I was like, whatever. So then I passed by this cool place again, and don't I see somebody outside of it? So I was like, and he had drawn this illustration, and he was taking a picture for his social media. So I had started following this place, and I was like, I saw him take that picture. That was really cool. So then I was like a lurker, and I went by again because I'm like, it looks like such a neat place. And the guy was outside again. So I was like, hi, do you work here? He was so nice. Michael Ryan, I'm talking about you. He was so nice, and I realized I would either look like a stalker or just a weirdo walking by anytime I was in that area. So I was like, I've got to say something. I have to say something. I need to say something because I look like a weirdo. We had a really nice conversation. He told me to come in. The inside space was even cooler than the outside of the place, and just really nice. He gave me his business card. He's like, what do you want done? And I was like, I really want this. And so he said, can you send me the pictures? So I was like, yeah. So we talked about it, and he was like, we'll set something up, let me know when you're ready. So I was like, okay. So then I went by again, and I'm like, I'm ready to do this. So I was like, this is insane. So I made the appointment, and we had talked about the design, but I had added something to the design. I wanted another thread to come from the top, spelling out the word make, because that's another one of my mantra words. I believe we're all makers. I believe we all create. I believe we're all artists in our own way. And so, spool of thread. So my daughter remade it, because she wanted to update it, and added make and create. So then I go for my appointment. Oh, before I do that, my husband reminded me, check with your doctors. Just triple check that they're not going to have a problem with this. So I was like, wah, wah, but I knew he was right. Reached out to them, and they were all like, I said, is there any neurological, cardiological, or general physical reason for me not to get a tattoo, other than the obvious, like, why would you do this? And they were all like, no, go for it. So I'm like, I was in my head thinking they're all going to say no. They're going to say no. They did not. So I went yesterday. My daughter came with me, my wonderful gal, the designer of my tattoo, and one half of my heart. And she was with me, and so we get in there, and he was getting set up. Michael Ryan, I'm talking to you, you're amazing. And I turn around because he needed some paperwork for me. And there was an antique sewing machine in the window, and I hadn't seen it. And I was like, well, that's a sign, if there ever was a sign of signs. And so we were like, whoa. And the owner was there, and he was talking about how he collects lots of different things. It's a really cool place. The Hermit Tattoo is the name of the place. And we had talked about pain relief. He knew about my medical situation. I was very upfront. I wouldn't ever lie about that, because I wouldn't want him to be like, if I jumped out of the chair, if the first needle hit me, and like, I can't, because I have this CRPS and I have arachnoiditis and I'm a weirdo and you name it. I've had it, done it, got it, whatever. So he knew. We talked about it, and he said he would give me pain spray if I needed it. He would walk me through the whole thing, which he did, which was amazing, and it's done. And before, like, I started to spin a little bit beforehand, before my doctors approved it, but then I started to think about when my daughter was little, and she was unsure about doing something. We told her, don't worry about it, you don't have to do it. But then she came back, and she was really little, and she said, why should I be afraid? And we were so blown away, because she was really little at the time, coming up with why should I be afraid. So we were like, you don't have to be afraid. If you feel comfortable, we'll be right here. You go for it. And so all of us have used that phrase in the years since. Why should I be afraid? And that's what I kept thinking. I kept coming back like, all right, yes, I have a laundry list of reasons to be afraid of someone inking something into my skin, which I did. And it's not even healed yet. It's brand new, so I will show it to you. But bear in mind, it's gonna look even better than it does right now. But I kept thinking, why should I be afraid? I've reached a point in my life where I want to live and do and be, and not always be afraid to do what other people can just go in off the street and do. And so I did it. And I did not eat any pain relief, which I was blown away by, but it was because he was honest in telling me about the whole thing. This is going to feel a little more intense. It'll only last for a few minutes. It was like, almost like, in a way, like getting an MRI. Okay, this is going to be louder for 5 minutes. And it's like, no. So he told me everything as it was happening. And the shading was going to be a little bit more intense. And it was just like, I knew it was coming. We took little breaks, and it's done. And I'm so proud of myself, because number one, I didn't need pain relief, but number two, that I did something that was really important to me. It wasn't a spontaneous thing. It's something my daughter and I have been talking about for years. I'm a little shocked that I'm the first person in our family to get a tattoo, because I really thought it would be her. We talked about that yesterday. But she designed it for me, and it means something to me, and I figure if I'm going to have pain anyway, why not have something nice to look at? And so, there's my spool of thread, there's make, there's create. I love it. I love it. And if people don't agree with it, if people don't like it, that's okay. I happen to love tattoos. I love tattoos. I follow a lot of tattoo artists. I already know I want to get another one. And he said that. He said to me, before I even do this, he goes, I want you to try it. He goes, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to say to me, oh, that's it? Keep going. And that's exactly what happened. And I said to my daughter, I gave her my coffee to hold, because I was so afraid he was going to put the needle on and I was going to throw my coffee up in the air and jump out of the chair. So then I got the coffee back, and he was laughing. He said, oh, now you go. And my daughter was like, oh, now you can take your coffee. I was like, well, yeah, now that I know what it feels like, now I know I'm not going to be like throwing my coffee up in the air at people. But it took 2 hours, and it's the happiest 2 hours I had this week, like in that way. And it was just like, because I did something that I really wanted to do. It required me to be really brave and dig deep, and it means something to me. My daughter designed that. It's a piece of her on me that I will have with me forever, and I love it. And and made her happy, and I got to meet a really cool tattoo artist who's just an extraordinary human being. He's a gifted artist, and he's moving on to another studio so he can learn another style of tattooing, and so I feel lucky that I got there before he moved. But now I know where he is, so we're going to be going there anyway. But it was just a neat experience being in that space, and it was just the three of us there, my daughter, the artist, and myself, so it was nice and quiet, and we really talked, and it was great. I highly recommend Michael Ryan. He's just a really cool guy, and he's extraordinarily gentle, and he listened, and he's genuine, and so that, I think, made the whole experience even better than it could have been. And I told him it was intimidating for me to even walk in, even to say anything to him, and I'm glad I did, because why should I be afraid? So I'm not telling all of you to go out and get a tattoo. Obviously, I did check with my doctors. And the other piece of good news, I saw my cardiologist today. I had forgotten when I messaged him that I was seeing him the day after said tattoo. But he was so busy, he didn't even bring it up, which I was kind of like, I want to get into it. The EKG technician, well, yeah, they are. Technician noticed it, only because she almost stuck one of the tabs to my arm, and I was like, hi, watch the tattoo. Super cool, very nice experience, and I am done. I do not have to go back to my cardiologist, the surgeon who fixed my heart. He said to me, I feel like you're doing really well, unless there's a problem. Let's knock wood, somewhere there's a piece of wood. I don't have to see you again, so I am released. So as I've been released from each of these stroke-related doctors, I've been released from cardiologists in the past. The first doctor who found the hole, she monitored me for like 3.5 years and then said, you're doing so well, I don't need to see you again. Rheumatologists, in remission, monitored for a few years, I don't need to see you again. The stroke neurologist, he monitored me for a while and then said, you don't need to come back. And to hear it from my heart surgeon was really nice. And so then I did another ridiculous thing. I had to go down to the DMV and pick up some paperwork. And so the one I had planned to go to, I could have gone to one closer. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I was thinking I wanted to walk because it was nice out. So I walked from Mount Sinai on 103rd Street to 29th Street to catch the bus home. And I'm feeling it, but I'm glad I did it. And it ended up being like 5.1 miles, and I, totaled today, and I just felt like, wow, what a ridiculous couple of days I've had, but I feel proud of myself, because like, why should I be afraid? So my thing is this: if you are going to do something, if you feel afraid to do something, if you've got something big in your life, whether it's not a tattoo, but even a tattoo, I would say to you, why should you be afraid? Go through the list of reasons you should be. Check with the people you need to check with. But don't forget that each of us has an adventure that we're on, a journey that we're on, a story that we're telling. I just feel empowered. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I just feel kind of like, screw it, I'm living my life. If it's the unburdening with the move, I don't know what it is, but I'm living it, and I'm living it, and I'm happy with it, and I've got my tattoo. And I am just full of joy and gratitude for the beautiful people in my life and the wonderful people whose stories intersect with mine. So, Michael Ryan Tattoo, check him out, he's amazing. I will tag him in this video and on my social media, and I just think he's awesome. And he did me a great service yesterday by being super cool, really listening to me, and giving me the tattoo of a lifetime, because it's something special that I'll take with me forever. It's my daughter's design, so I love it. Anyway, I hope wherever you are that you have a low pain, no pain, low aggravation, no aggravation. Oh my gosh, with these intros and outros, I knew it. Low aggravation, no aggravation, low pain, no pain. Kind of a day, kind of a week, kind of a weekend to come, because that's what we hope for, that's what we deserve, and that is what I truly wish for each and every one of you. I wish for you great adventures. I want you to hold on to the idea, why should you be afraid? I want you to live your lives, and I want you to get joy, and I want you to have beautiful moments, whether they're big or small, whether it's an hour, a month, a day, a minute. I want you to have joy in your lives, that your hearts are full, and you're getting those endorphins, and you're feeling those wonderful things that come with just letting yourselves live in the moment and enjoy things. And I know it's hard for us, especially people with chronic illnesses, and believe me, I know this is not the wisest choice for some people. I get it. And if my doctors had said, come on. And I know I have a discomfort. It feels like a little bit like a sunburn today, but I'm taking care of it. And it's worth it because I have something beautiful to look at that my daughter did for me. So it's like, you know, I have no regrets at all. I have all joy, and I'm happy with it. So that is what I want for each and every one of you. I will see you on Friday via the blog next week for everything. Take care and have a beautiful night. And why should you be afraid?